This ain't a drill, folks. This is not a drill. Praetus is coming back on Raid Up for the third time ever. Praetus is going on 15x, and actually kind of crazy, only 4 months ago we had our last Praetus Raid Up, and before that it was about 4 or 5 months. So they're doing Praetus like potentially 3 times a year on Raid Up. I don't know. I'm not going to sign off on that yet, but we are actually getting a rerun of the same banner from the beginning of December 2024, Praetus with Uredin. This banner is exceedingly appealing, and we got to talk about it. I will do a proper in-depth Should You Summon talking about both these guys on Friday. Right now it's Tuesday. But today I just want to talk about why this banner is so hype, and maybe instead of Should You Summon, I'm going to talk about Should I Summon. Spoiler alert, probably. But I want to talk you through my thinking, and maybe it will color your thinking and whether it's a good match for you. You know, not everyone's in the exact same situation, obviously, but maybe, you know, I'll talk about a couple things that get it going in your brain. If you want to participate in our big polls party, and it's going to be a big one, for this special Ancient Summoning banner featuring Praetus and Uredin, I have the link in the description and the top pinned comment. Also, if you'd like to sign up for these things when we do our big polls parties as soon as possible, or you want to get the information quickly, I always make the announcement officially on my Discord before the video. So you can see on my Discord, the Fasti and Fastidious, we actually are coming up towards 8,000 members. So if you haven't joined yet, definitely check it out. Link for that in the description as well. If you go to announcements, I will always share this. You can find the form there. I also have a special channel if you just want to see all the polls party links. If you ever just like, oh, I didn't see an announcement, let me go check. I will also always share it here. So there you go, the Praetus and Uredin polls party. So let me quickly show you what the form looks like. Just like this, the polls will be at 12 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Central European time. You can do the math based on where you live. That'll be on Saturday, April the 5th. The questions are very, very simple. I don't need any personal information. All the login stuff we will deal with in Discord in private messages. And yeah, just trying to find our way onto the account so we can do your polls. We already have 8 people that have signed up in just like 2 hours or whatever, a little less than 2 hours. And maybe I'm going to be 9. Let's talk about it. So why is this banner so freaking cool? Let's not try to be cute. Praetus is just arguably the best hero in the game. So he's someone everyone's going to want to have a copy of. I know there's a lot of rumors that there's a new legendary lord coming. I've heard people say it's going to be a third esotericist lord. I'm not really sure. Aside from one picture, I don't know anything about it. And for all we know, who knows what it's going to be. Can't lean on that information, though it might inform our opinions. It's something to keep in the back of your head. Can't really speak to anything besides that it's a rumor, and people are saying there will be a new lord coming in the nearish future. But could that lord be better than Praetus? Almost unthinkably no. No lord has ever been better than Praetus. You could argue Ingrid's as good as Praetus. I think that's kind of it. Like he's really he's one of one. He's so strictly unique. He's so phenomenal. I think until there's another legendary Arbiter Lord, for a lot of content, he will be best in slot for a lot of different things. This is not a Praetus guide. I have a big Ultimate Praetus guide if you want to watch it. I've got some Praetus showcase stuff, Power of Dominance, him nuking 221 in one shot, all those fun things. But, this Lord's skill is just supremely powerful. He lives up to his name as a Supreme Arbiter, and he's just really unique and a total pest in both PvE and PvP. So he's someone you're going to want to probably snag a copy of if you don't have it. And yeah, if another thing to consider, right? If there is a new legendary lord coming and it's not Praetus level or Ingrid level good or Valderon, right? I mean, it just dilutes the pool and it's going to make it harder every time to get Praetus. The number of legendary lords goes up and up and up every few months. So yeah, ideally you're going to want to snipe a copy of Praetus, early on in your gameplay before there's another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 legendary lords added to the pool. As it stands now, every faction has 2 except for the Arbiters. So if I can do some quick math, I think there's 8 factions, right? Because unnamables don't count. Let me just I think it's 9 actually. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's 9. So that means there's 17 legendary lords, right? Because 8 of them have 2, and then Supreme Arbiters, it's just Mr. Praetus over here. So yeah, with that information, right now you got a 1 in 17 chance, but now with the 15x, basically you're going to have like a 40% chance to hit Praetus if and when you hit Legendary Lord. Every time we get more, it's going to get harder. We'll talk about me more in a sec, but I do want to quickly talk about Uredin. Uredin's pretty dang spicy. As a hero, he is definitely not as good as we all hoped he would be, but because we all thought he was going to be a god, I'm super guilty of this. When he was first like leaked and teased in, I believe it was right before Thanksgiving 2023, so almost a year and a half ago now, or basically exactly a year and a half ago, we all thought, or I certainly did, that he was going to be like a god. He was going to be like a melee version of Virna with better base stats. What it actually turned out to be is he's kind of a clunky guy that kind of fits into both his factions, but not perfectly. He hits really hard, but not frequently enough, and the Potent Surge is weird to use. So I'd say he's probably, as a hero, like a 6 out of 10 hero. But that's still not bad. It's just we all thought he was going to be this, and he ended up being this, so that huge drop feels really bad. But if average is this, he's still here. So as a hero, yeah, don't lose your mind over him. Especially if you get deeper into the game, you probably won't use him almost anywhere, but that doesn't mean he's bad. And one thing in the game that is so important is he is the best in slot for something. He is the #1 hero in the game for something, and it's the most endgame content in the game. And that is Guild Wars or Gladiator's Gauntlet, whatever's live in your GVG situation. When it comes to battle power affiliation, which is how this whole thing works, Uredin is the king by a good margin. So you can see I've got an A1 Uredin, and he is, I don't have the gear on everyone. I'll put the gear on really quickly so you can see. If I get him in his build, his affiliation build, he is the #1 on my account by a little bit, and that's beating out my Setrum with a max out exclusive at Awaken level 5. And Setrum being the highest BP non-ancient, right? Or I guess not counting Maw or Beelzebub, but one of the absolute highest. So if we go over here, we can put on my Uredin gear. So you can see he's not wearing an artifact, so he's going to get a nice chunk. Put him in a maxed out Wailing Skull. And look at that. Uredin comes all the way up to 117,000. I'm actually realizing as I say this, now that my Setrum does have the maxed out exclusive, he might be higher. I think my Setrum's like 118. But even still, I think point well made. Let's see. Okay, so my Setrum's almost 119,000. Okay, so to be fair, maxing out the exclusive really does help. However, the fact that there's even a conversation kind of shows it. And if this Uredin was A5, we'd be talking with my gear maybe 128,000, maybe getting towards 130 with even better gear, because my Uredin weapon's not that good, not that special. I mean, it's not bad, but not that special. You know, the best Uredins, I think the last best one I saw was like 136,000. If there's any Super Whale, Kraken, or Endgame familiar GVG players, let me know what the highest affiliation Uredin is now. But it's just amazing, right? It's just amazing how much he scales compared to other heroes. So that's really, really important if you care about Guild Wars. So even though this kind of looks like the Praetus banner, for anyone that doesn't have an A5 Uredin, and frankly, anyone that's really interested in GVG, you're going to want to probably build a second Uredin, and if you're a Kraken, maybe a third, because the one thing you can reuse heroes for in Watch of Realms is multiple copies of the same hero for BP affiliation, specifically in GVG content. It really is something. So he's the ultimate constellation prize for any end game or late game or just PvP interested player focused on their guild stuff. So this is pretty dang cool. It's quite a fun pairing. Feels very endgame. So should I go for Praetus? I don't have him. So that makes this feel like a no-brainer. At this point, I was resistant to pulling for Praetus for a long time because I thought he was too OP. There's enough other OP stuff in the game that I don't mind picking up a copy at this point, especially to help out my guild. And he really is that good. If I was able to pick him up, I could reset my Twin Fiend, and I'd have 3 free Soul Stones, so I could A3 Praetus, or I could A1 Praetus, and then A5 Ingrid. That would all be some fun stuff to think about. But all in all, to me, I feel like almost certainly, I'm not going to hard commit to it yet. You guys let me know. Should I pull? I can show you my account if you're curious. I think a lot of people probably are familiar. But yeah, this is my account. Basically, yeah, I don't have him, and I think he probably would help in a pretty major freaking way, obviously. Thing is, I've beaten all the PvE content in this game outside of Abyss 1, where Praetus is usable, but not elite. So if I was solely focused on Abyss 1, I would want to pick up a Soul Cadence, so that is something to consider. But Praetus really, really, really is special. And I think because he's so capable in PvP, and it seems like people are somewhat interested in me doing an Apex push, picking up Praetus probably would enable a lot of that stuff. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking for your accounts. I know I said this wouldn't be a should you summon beyond just should I summon. You can wait for that on Friday. It still will come. But keep in mind, even if you do have Praetus, it's really hard to get Soul Stones, and a lot of these Awakenings are huge. His A1 is one of the couple best awakenings for any hero, period, in the whole game. This is crazy. The A3 is awesome. It's really good for damage. The A5 is fantastic. It's really good for damage. The A1 is the one that really, I think, opens him up and changes the kit. Everything else just makes the onslaught of damage become onslaughier. His A3 obviously is not to the level of like Ingrid, which again transforms the kit and like functionally how she works. But there's a lot of good things there, so it's definitely something to consider. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Again, we do have the polls party, so if you're interested in participating, we have a link to this form in the description and the top pinned comment. Thank you. I've been Fastidious. I got another video coming out right after this about the crazy new content arriving in Watcher of Realms, and it actually is crazy. I'm not just hyping everything up like many people accuse me of doing. Pretty dang cool. And we'll also discuss what this gift over here could potentially be coming in just 12 hours time. Thank you. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.